Well, good evening. Welcome to Bedtime Stories with me, Pastor Michelle. Today is Thursday, December 3rd, and our woman of the hour, our bold woman in Black history, is Josephine Baker, and she was a singer and a dancer. So she had an early start in the entertainment business. As a child in St. Louis, she would put on song and dance shows with the neighborhood kids. By the time she was 14, she worked as a stagehand at theaters. The first time she performed on stage, she made waves with her wild dancing and silliness. She stood out from the chorus line, and the other performers sourly called her a scene stealer, but that was just her style. Her career really took off when she went to Europe. France became her adoptive country and Paris her stage. When she returned to the U.S., American audiences were not very receptive to her, a Black woman who seemed too uppity for her own skin. Josephine was shocked by the prejudice and discrimination she encountered. From then on, she negotiated non-discrimination clauses in her contracts for her performances and fought for integrated audiences. Her fearlessness didn't end there. During World War II, she worked for the French resistance, smuggling secret messages in her sheet music and undergarments. After the war, she was awarded two of France's highest military honors. She built a large, loving family with adopted kids from all over the world. She called them the Rainbow Tribe. In 1963, she traveled back to the U.S. to march with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. at the famous March on Washington. She was the only woman slated to speak that day. She was never someone that would fall in line. She always stood out and made her own way. She was a brave woman who was so much more than just a performer. So great to hear about her. And I like that. You know, she was bold and she never, what was it? She never stood, never wanted to fall in line. So if there's something bad happening in the world, we should never fall in line with the evil. I don't know. So our Disney story tonight comes from The Fox and the Hound, and it's called Todd's Homecoming. So Todd the Fox wanted to show his fox friend Vixie where he had grown up. He took her to the top of the hill where they could look down on a beautiful valley. "I grew up on Widow Tweed's farm," Todd said, pointing with his paw at a farm nestled in the valley. "She took care of me when I was just a cub, and that's my best friend Copper," Todd said, pointing to a handsome hound. "Copper lives at Amos Slade's farm. His house is right next door to Widow Tweed's. Let's go visit him." "Not me," Vixie declared. "I'm a fox, and I'm not fond of hounds. I'll catch some fish for our dinner. See you later." Alone, Todd scampered down the hill, excited about seeing his old pal, but when he got there, he spotted a strange man sneaking into Amos Slade's hen house. "Wake up, Copper," yelled Todd. "A chicken thief is raiding the hen house." Copper woke with a start and leaped into action, but the rope around his neck held him back. "You'll have to stop that chicken thief yourself," cried Copper. "But I can't stop him alone," Todd replied. "We'll help," someone chirped. Todd looked up and saw Dinky the sparrow and Boomer the woodpecker sitting on the fence. "Well, let's go." So Todd burst into the hen house first. The thief was there, holding squawking chickens in both hands. Todd bit the man's ankle. "Ouch!" howled the thief. Boomer flew through the window and pecked at the chicken snatcher's head. The thief dropped the chickens and covered his head with his arms. Meanwhile, Dinky had untied the knot that held Copper. Now Copper was free and angry too, and barking. He charged at the burglar. Eggs flying, the chicken snatcher screamed and ran as he raced down the road. Dinky and Boomer flitted around his head, pecking him till he was out of sight. The fox and the hound trotted back to the farm. "Good to see you, Todd," wagging his tail, Copper said while wagging his tail. "What brings you here?" "I just stopped by for a quiet visit." "Well, it was real quiet, all right," said Copper. Well, good for them for catching the thief. So God bless you all, my friends, and have a good night.